You got a bunch of men trying to figure out how to use technology. And
I'm the technical difficulty. I'm the technical difficulty.
Yeah. Unmute.
Call it like it is, man.
I'm just the lucky one. I've got my own computer door.
I had a temporary one today helping me. Dude, Taylor from a creative group that I belong to here in Texas, I was like freaking out because I've got literally, there's 7 cameras right to my left, and none of them were communicating with the laptop, and the webcam built into the laptop is terrible. And we couldn't get any of it. And this guy knows what he's doing, and he's like, dude, I don't know what's going on here, man. There's something jinxing everything. And but we solved it. Like, he literally solved it like 10 minutes ago. I'm like, yes. But we forgot to test the microphones.
But let me tell everybody a little bit about you. We got Lee Giles and Mike Fagan here from also known as Beowulf here on the chat right now. We're going to kind of go over like what they do, who they are, kind of like where their lives are going, how the world's affecting them. And we're just going to have some fun, do some bullshitting, and touch base with like some personal stuff, see how, you guys are handling COVID, see how the business stuff is going through COVID, see how you guys are doing through it all, and like I saw your video that you were spinning around. Man, I freaking loved it. I was looking at it. I was like, yes, he's on fire.
I was having fun, man. I had a couple of whiskeys in me, and I could feel that we were getting close, right? We're so close to having this room exactly like I envisioned it like 3-4 years ago. And it's like, it's there. We're like this close, this close. We're so close. But, you know what? Of all the shows to launch with, like technically we're going to call this launch night. I'm glad we're launching with you, BJ. You've been like this friend that I think we met through a Gary Vee chat or something a couple of years ago. I don't remember exactly. I think it was. And like you kept like every now and then you'd reach out, right at the right time and, hey, Lee, what are you doing? Hey, Lee, you got to do this. Hey, Lee, what's going on? And so I appreciate that. Thank you. Because you and then Mike, my buddy there, Beowulf, man, without guys like you around me, I'd still be like, my head in the hole going, what am I going to do next? So
well,
here we go, man. Launch night, baby.
You've helped me through so much too, man. You don't even know it. Like one of your big videos that I know I shared during the week was Smile. And it honestly is one of those videos that when you released that day, it was one of those things I need to fucking hear. And it was like a punch in the cheek. And I was like, and I still go back to that one. I'm like, I love it. Just shut up, just smile. It ain't that bad.
No, it's not. You know what? You could smile, and even if you fake that smile, you can't really fake a smile. If you smile, it forces you to feel better. You can't control it, right?
Yeah.
So do it. You needed to smile this morning, man.
Oh yeah, I'm getting through some stuff, figuring stuff out, just building a whole new plan, trying to set stuff up. Got a few kicks in the road, and might be down there in Texas hanging out with y'all.
Do it, man. Do it. You know what? For the last 17 years, Beowulf, Mike, I'm going to let him talk actually in a minute. I always hog everything. Mike is like this constant like anchor in my life, like a good friendship that is always there when I need someone to tell me the right thing at the right time. And what I've learned with Mike around is all these ebbs and flows of owning businesses, and we've had several, and dozens and dozens and dozens of employees, hundreds of different clients. I always try to get things like just right, just perfect. Like even this studio, just right, just perfect. And that doesn't exist. Like you can get it to where you think you want it, but something's going to fall down, something's going to break, something's going to not go the way it's supposed to go. And you can't, that's just the way it is. You just got to punch through it and just move to the next step. That's all you can do. Make a decision, move forward. Make a decision, move forward. Adjust, move forward. It's always about moving forward,
I've caught myself in that so many times where it's that self-failure mode to where you just like, you fail on purpose, so you just can't make that next step. So it's almost like an excuse keeping you away from proceeding. you know. And I'd see you
Some
doing
people
the
do
same
that.
thing I was doing, and I was like, damn it. That's why I used to poke you.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
Dude, you're such an inspiration. That's why I want to get you guys, like, let's go over a little bit of history of what you guys have done and stuff like that. So let's talk about, like, what do you guys do is, like, well, you guys tell what you guys do is you guys go on badass adventures. And my favorite is the Kyle Petty ride. You know what I mean? Like, that was probably the funnest I've ever seen you. You were just laughing, roaring it up, and just inspiring so many people.
Oh my God, that was the most epic thing ever. So, of course, most people know Richard Petty, Kyle Petty, the whole Petty racing family, right? Kyle's oldest son, Adam, was also a NASCAR driver. And Adam died. And one of the things that Adam created was Victory Junction. He was involved with Victory Junction. Victory Junction is a summer camp in North Carolina, but it's for children with disabilities or certain diseases, or where a traditional camp for kids in the summer isn't practical for them because they need special medical needs. So there's different times of the year where maybe all children with cancer go at the same time, and then they have nurses and doctors on premise that can deal with those needs, right? So it changes throughout the year based upon the needs of the children. And Kyle created the Kyle Petty Charity Ride. Last year was the 25th anniversary, and most of the money that's raised in the Kyle Petty Charity Ride goes to Victory Junction. And it's all done in honor of Adam and all the kids that, you know, get to participate in that camp. And they wanted the 25th to be like this magnificent, crazy, corner-to-corner longest ride ever. And it was, man, it was so sick. We started in Seattle, Washington. Herschel Walker, Kyle Petty, Richard Petty, Harry Gant, Max Pappas from IndyCar. Oh, my God, so many people. There was like 200 of us. And we literally rode from Seattle, Washington, all the way to Key Largo, Florida, 11 days, 4,000 miles, no stoplights, no stop signs, police escort the whole way, Harley Davidson in a trailer behind us with mechanics and equipment and fans at every city. It was sick, man. It was so cool. So awesome. I love those guys. And that family, like, I didn't know any of these people, right? Day one. And it wasn't even 2-3 hours into it, and I was already part of the family. Like, it's a very special group of people, and love them. So shout out to Kyle Petty Charity Ride. Love you guys.
Well, and that's the thing.
All about it. It's fun.
That's the thing about you, Lee, is you're always infectious. Like Mike here, I know he's been following you around for a long time. Like, it's just, you kind of draw people in. It's just your personality, you know what I mean? And that's why you guys are kind of like on fire, and that's why I find it funny you call Mike your hype man. You know, because he's all calm, collected. Like, even when you guys hang back, he's just like, he's watching what you're doing and he's plotting. You can just see it.
Yeah, you know what? Mike has my back, man. Like nobody else, Mike has my back. He's like Steady Eddie, making sure I keep control of things.
So were you on that trip too, Mike?
What'd you say?
Were you on that trip too?
Oh, no, I didn't go on that trip. I stood behind and took care of the back stuff.
Oh, I got you.
I kept the business running so that I could go on that trip.
Ah, all right.
Yeah.
So what's you guys' favorite trip you've done together? Or favorite activity, anyways?
Man. What we can talk about?
Tons of trips, yeah. Sit down. Yeah, tons of trips.
Man.
I mean, there's the most one I liked is the one from New Orleans. That first time I went to New Orleans, we went up there for work, but it turned into all play and not going to work because the client got mad at us because we were supposed to be. Yeah, she did. She got mad at us because
she was a little upset.
She was, but we never made it to the job site.
No, we did. We were just a few minutes late.
Yeah, so it was a few minutes late, a few hours late.
All right, so here's what happened. Can I tell the story?
I don't mind. Go for it.
Yeah.
Tell them why it was so much fun.
Are you talking about
day one?
3-for-1 beers? Or are you talking about you losing me and I'm having to walk and.
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
it's
which part?
DJ starts out. We go to New Orleans. Mike's never been to New Orleans before. I grew up in New Orleans, my high school years and the few years after my early 20s. And I know New Orleans, right? I know where all the 3-for-1 beer places are. 3-for-1, you buy one beer, you actually get 3 beers. You get a vodka tonic, you get a 32-ounce vodka tonic. Like, that's how it works. And there's little, not that I'm promoting drinking, but there's these little beer stands on Bourbon Street where you can get what they call big-ass beers. It's a 32-ounce beer for like $5.
Oh, I'm promoting drinking.
So I'm like, all right, I'm bringing Mike to New Orleans. We're going to hit the French Quarter night one. We showed up a day early, and I was like, come on, you got $5. Let's go get a big-ass beer. He was like, what? I got him his first beer, and that was the first beer of many mistakes that night of additional beers.
Yeah, it was.
The best part is when we went to Harris Casino, and because it was like a couple blocks from the hotel, literally 2 blocks from the hotel, and that means something in a second. I like to play poker, so at like 2 or 3 in the morning, I disappeared, but I'm over at the poker tables, and Mike goes and he's hanging around playing slots or whatever, but eventually he decides to go back to the hotel. Well, he doesn't realize the hotel's 2 blocks away. he hails a taxi, and the taxi drives him like, what was like a 20, 30-minute taxi ride to go 2 blocks. He had like a $20, $30 taxi bill when he was already literally right by the hotel. It was so funny.
Oh.
Yeah.
Something I want to go into, because I know you both are doing it at the same time, and you've done it quite a few times, is following dreams. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And dealing with fails. Because I know you both have run into it. You have any good stories on that? You know, about hitting a fail and being able to work past it? Because I know we've talked before in the past, and we've both run into some big walls. You know, and it's stepping past those walls and regrouping yourself after a failure. And, you know, how would you handle it, you know?
Mike, do you want to start?
No, you go. You do it.
Well, I can tell you that I'm good at failing. I've done it many times. But I think I'm okay with that. I'm not afraid to fail, right? The first thing is you can't be afraid to fail. You can't. If you're afraid to fail, you might as well not even start. You have to take the chance. First of all, accept that, know that that's a possibility, and then move forward. And I think, you know, over the last 15, 16, 17 years, I went into every business with optimism, with expectations, goals, and dreams that I wanted it to be, you know, this, or this, whatever it was. And on many occasions, I failed. I made bad decisions. In my last big situation, we actually grew way too fast. Oh my God. Like, it was magnificent. Like, everything was clicking the way we wanted to click, but it happened too fast. I had some obstacles pop up that I couldn't control, and it inevitably led to all of it collapsing. But I think when something's starting to fail, you have to recognize that it's about to fail, or it's already going down the right path, or wrong path. And you have basically 2 choices. You stand and fight, you figure out what went wrong and correct it, right the ship. If it's already full of water and it's going down, you better have your next plan launched, ready to go as your backup plan while you're trying to figure out how to clean this one up and get it past you. And I think one of my successes in life is that every time I failed, I recognized that something was not going the way I had planned it to go. The ship was sinking. It was beyond repair, and I started lining up my next endeavor and making sure I had that fallback plan. I've got a 12-year-old son. I have a wife. I have my mother I take care of financially. My mother-in-law is living with us right now. So I have responsibilities. I can't not have something going right, generating income for the family. And that's what drives me. I got to take care of the family, you know, and Mike and his family, they're an extension of my family. So I have a lot of, I can't fail. I can fail, but I have to be able to succeed in something and just keep moving forward. I'm rambling now, but that's basically it.
Oh no, it's all great stuff, brother. You got anything to add on that, Mike?
Well, I mean, I don't really look at failure as failure. I look at failure as moving forward. We've been through it. Last 17 years, we've been through some stuff. We've been through a lot of positive stuff, and I think the positive beats out the negative. I'm more of beating down everything every day of just staying positive. If we stay positive, move forward, we're gonna have our days. Everyone has their days. I have a handful of stuff I do. Lee does. I know you do, BJ. We just got to take those failures, hold them in, and keep pushing. Because we're going to come out on the other side, and we're going to be, bless you, we're going to be flourishing on the other side. And it's right around the corner. I feel it. It's coming. It's right around the corner. I know
it's coming.
Yeah.
I feel it too, Mike. Hey, you know, Will Smith has some videos out there. Look him up on YouTube. He has a few talking about fail forward. Like, I love that. Fail forward. If you can accept failing forward, you're going to be fine.
See, and what's bad is like well, I'm not going to. I'll start out a different way. They always say the master has failed more times than the novice has ever even tried. You know what I mean? So it's just mastering your craft. But like, I always think of failure as like an actual. You know, I like to fail, but I like to fail big. I always say if you're shooting for the stars and you land on the moon, you know, you didn't do that bad.
Right. Yep. I accept that. That's where we are, man.
And that's the funnest thing. And you got to remember that even during the COVID times, you got to keep pushing. You got to just change direction, change how you're doing stuff. And, you know, the world's changing right now. We got to figure the new thing out, what it is and what's going on, and, you know, how to maneuver in this market.
We're doing it right now.
Oh, yeah, and that's exactly it, is working on stuff like this, working on socials. If you had any tips out there for people that are running companies, running big businesses during COVID, what would you tell them?
Run.
Oh, they've got to move to this platform. You know, be prepared to work YouTube to its magic, Facebook, any social media platform that's out there, and when new ones come up, jump on them. You don't know which one's going to take off, which one's not. Just get involved and get someone on it. You have no choice. You're irrelevant otherwise. I remember growing up, I'm an old guy. I'm almost 50 years old. I was around when we got messages to each other by faxing it, you know, and then, or actually calling or actually knocking on the door. Like, I remember those days. But I also remember when you were told if you don't have a website, you're not relevant. People don't even need websites anymore. It's like if you don't have a Facebook page, you're not relevant. If you don't have a YouTube channel in a business talking about your products, you're not relevant. Like, there's going to be something after those, and when they come out, you got to be able to jump on them. And that's where Mike and I have spent the last 9 months, you know, building the studio, closing out the old business, getting our new merch business up and running, and it's doing great. But now we're trying to pivot to this platform and figure out, when I say this platform, I'm talking about video. Like, how do we make video work for us? And that's what we're doing. And so we're going to prepare the videos. We're top of the funnel, and we can break them down to hit each platform as they come out and develop them. And that's our game plan right now.
See, that's
jump on it.
That's what we're starting off with. This is because I've had a lot of people ask me why I'm doing this on like a car channel, but a lot of it is the people that I'm working with and my friends in the car industry. I want to talk to them like about how they're doing in their companies and how stuff's going on, and put a face to the company so people like actually can get what's going on. You know what I mean? Instead of it being a faceless company, that, you know, and realize who's behind the company, how these people are doing, what they're doing to inspire others. You know what I mean? And really put people to get it back to that small town feel, but we can all be virtual.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
To where you see them, you see some of these YouTubers, a lot of people have seen them so much, they feel like they know them. You know what I mean? And the face of the companies need to feel like they know them. You know what I mean? To where people are like, oh, I really relate to them. You know, like they're being honest with me. They're being true. And it's just easier being that, you know?
Yeah. Yep. I agree. I'm having fun with it, man, too. I'm excited again. Like, I'm enjoying it. I'm not going to lie. I was frustrated the last 4 hours when I literally, I'm looking at them. I literally have 7 cameras next to me, and we could not get either one of them to communicate with this laptop. We could blow it away. So the technical side of things frustrates me to death. But because I know that frustrates me, Mike and I, the next hire we have is we're going to hire an IT guy or camera guy, someone that understands that part of the world, because we don't. So that's the next big investment for the company.
You mean like mine?
There he is. What's up, dude? How you doing, man?
He said
Cody,
he's good.
he helped us out big time earlier.
Oh, and he's well, anytime you guys have any issues or anything like that, trying to set up this stuff, like, it actually looks a lot cooler on the live because he's got like a scroll on the bottom, you know, stuff that's just running on there. We can actually make it say funny things, you know.
I'm going to have to watch this back later.
Yeah, I don't think he's put anything up there, but I told him he could do whatever he wanted.
We don't care, right, Mike?
What'd you say?
We don't care, right? Make it funny.
I don't care. I'm jumping in on the chats now, so I'm good.
Oh, I don't have it up. You know what? Multitasking with technology is a problem for me still. So that's the next thing we got to work on too. I got to figure out how to do this and do this at the same time.
Yeah, I'm not that smart. I just have it up on my phone on Zoom because it just makes life easier. I'm non-technology, so it's like how can I make it easy for me and like easier, like, well, not easier for him. I guess it makes it harder for him.
And Facebook Flatguys, I don't take any of it seriously anymore. I don't, because it's almost like when you text somebody or you email someone, you can't. What's the word? You can't put your tone, the voice inflection in a text or an email. You can't do it. It's impossible, and it's gonna get misinterpreted on the other side. And sometimes when I do something that looks sad or happy or whatever, and it's just a message, written word, there's no tone. And you're going to interpret your own tone into my message and think what you think, and it may not be true. And I don't like that about any of social media. And I think that's why I'm drawn to the video now, because now I can be me right now. Like, this is me. Mike will tell you, this is me. I'm blah, 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 nonstop. Now, I also have my down, where I'm like down in the dumps, and Mike brings me back up. But, you know, I think that's just life. Everybody's like that. What I'd like to figure out is how do you turn, I don't know. I don't even know how to say what I was going to say. Like, how do you add tone to written message? And I think the only way you can do that is through video, like what we're doing right now. That's it.
Well, and I think audio is another big one too, is with when you're actually do audio, like where the way the industry's going, like if you look at the Alexas, the Google Plays, all of those new devices, it's all in the audio. It's in the podcast. Like, we'll take this episode and we'll turn it into a podcast, and hopefully I actually get more audience on there than I do video, because I think I got a better voice for audio than video. But you know, like, and that's where I see the world going, like, is where it's all in the podcast. It's all in what people are talking about and being real and talking about like what's really going on. You know? Yeah,
I have mixed emotions on podcasts. I get it, right? I understand that's something that you have to have because there's an audience that's what they like to listen to. You know, they're taking a shower, they're doing their work, and they're just listening, or they're driving their car. They can't watch. I understand that. Personally, I'm not a podcast listener. I want to see what I'm listening to. I want to see the face. I want to see the movement, the smiles. I can read a lot about a person by seeing them and listening to them at the same time. That I am good at.
Where'd you get the shower thought? They're listening to podcasts in the shower. That's the first thing you come off of, shower. What's wrong with you?
Because I don't do, Mike, you know me, I don't do anything unless I'm listening to music Like, there's always music on. There's music in this room right now. You just can't hear it on camera.
Stuff like that. Watching the trending of which way it's going, you know what I mean? To where people, like, for me, the podcasts I listen to are actually my friends. And I actually feel like I get to know more about my friends and catch up with my friends more because I don't get to see them as often because they're so busy. You know, I tune into their podcasts and get to listen to them tell jokes and all kinds of stuff. I've even caught them telling stories about me, and I'll text them later and be like, hey, I heard that.
You're like, you weren't supposed to say that, man.
Some of them, yeah.
That was supposed to be bro code.
I was like, I'm glad you left the name off on that one.
I love it. I love it. Everybody has those stories.
But I'm watching how the world's evolving, and I actually think COVID, like a lot of people are like, oh, you know, COVID's a horrible thing. And yeah, it is a horrible thing. It's a bad disease. But if you look at what it's doing to technology, it's pushing technology. It's pushing apps. People are creating new jobs by creating apps to deliver food, creating new apps to deliver stuff. I met these nurses probably a week ago that are running their own bus doing COVID tests. They bought the machinery. They bought the equipment. They're on the road, and they're hireable. And they said they were so busy, it's ridiculous. And I was like, that is ingenuity. That's America.
That's capitalism. Don't take it away. People want to take away capitalism. You can't do it. Can't take away entrepreneurship. Don't do it. They're trying. You got to stop. Right?
No, they'll never be able to take it away because, like, you know, the Amazons are going to take out the Walmarts. And then what people don't realize is that the small shops are going to come back, but it's in smaller form because they're just hidden underneath Amazon's name. You know what I mean? It's like, because look at how many small shops sell underneath Amazon. It allows small businesses all over the world to get all over the world. You know?
Yeah.
And it's shipped right into your building in a couple days. It's the new small world. Now, all those people are going to start having faces. You know, a world I imagine, you know, I hate this because Walmart might hear it, but I honestly hope Walmart goes out of business. I purposely go to the cashier every single time. I leave my cart in the parking lot, let them hire that guy to push that back. Sometimes when I'm walking through the aisles, I push stuff back.
Yep.
Just because I know Amazon's stealing money from them.
Yep.
And they're going down the pooper.
You know what? I'm with you. I don't do self-checkout. I don't like it. You know what? Mike, were you with me at Home Depot the other day? When I went through the lane, I was like, I prefer to keep you employed. I want you to check out my stuff. Did you hear me tell that to that guy? I don't think you heard me. The guy that was checking us out when we bought lumber the other day, I said.
The one with the bottle cap glasses?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, I prefer you check me out because I want to make sure you keep a job.
Yeah. He appreciated it. Yeah.
You know, and I kind of do the same thing. Like, I do it for darker motives, but I'm glad the guy's keeping his job. But, you know, I look forward to the day you can just tell your Alexa device, Alexa, I need 7 16-foot 2x4s. And it's already taken out of your account. It shows up at your house, and there's guys that unload it right in your driveway.
I'm not going to lie. That's kind of nice.
But you're still hiring people. That's the whole thing. It's just we got to let technology evolve, and the bigger companies need to go away for the newer companies to evolve in.
Yeah.
Home Depot should literally be on Alexa and be like, all right, this is our new system. This is how we're going to sell wood. If you want plywood, the thing I'd be investing in is, like, if you say the word cheeseburger to your Alexa in a few years, what's that worth? You know what I mean?
Right.
Is McDonald's going to sell the cheeseburger? Is Burger King going to sell it? Wendy's? Whose cheeseburger do you get when I want a cheeseburger and a soda?
Right.
You know, and that's where I think audio is getting to be such a huge thing. Video is great, and they'll have the glasses someday where I can watch the podcast and, you know, everything like that. But like like that's where the personality or the person to person kind of comes in, and that's where I love doing these. You know,
I'm glad you said that about the glasses. Sorry to interrupt you.
Go for it.
My son and I got him the VR glasses from Oculus, the Quest 2, for Christmas. And I'm not spoiling anything because he knows it's coming. But I think it was Gary Vee or somebody said something recently that Like if you're not already prepping and preparing for VR, again, you're already behind. And you're right. You just said it. You need to be able to engage what's coming in VR. Maybe that is the next social. So you're going to be able to, like, we're going to have this in a VR session. We're all going to be sitting, our avatars are going to be sitting down together, drinking beers at the pizza pub, the pizza bar, We're going to be eating pizza. Our avatars are going to be eating pizza while we talk, drink beer at home. It's going to be awesome.
Well, that's exactly it. Where it's going to be that technology's moving and it's moving fast.
Yeah.
And
exponentially, daily, by the minute.
I watched something that's one of the companies sent me from the SEMA this year. That it was actually automotive tutorials on how to fix things, taken from the mechanic's eyes while he's explaining it. You can see his finger. You can see what he's pointing at. You can see everything. It's like, wow. Like, I was like, that blew my mind. He showed me a little video of it. I can't remember the name of the software, but if I find it, I'll put it in the comments. But it was just
where
epic.
That's going. I'm kidding. You use your imagination. But anyway.
Oh, yeah. But that
so
was
what do
just
you guys
amazing.
have going on? Okay. What is your next build? What's going on right now with your build?
Right now, we're trying to get Empathy put together with computer systems, everything in it like that. Get her tailored up so we can get her on the road. Trying to figure out how to get Jeff paid so we can afford to let him drive and get him out on the road, and just tailoring up a lot of things I didn't finish in a 90-day build.
Right. That was the Rat Rod build for SEMA, right? Like a year ago? Yeah, cool. That was fun to watch.
Oh, she's a beauty to drive, too. I just want to fine-tune everything, because if I'm going to send it out there for like 1,000,000 miles, I want to make sure it's in tip-top shape.
Right. That it needs to be.
And then our next plan after that's the bus, which I think is going to be a big fun, with the whole, if I can fabricate out of a bus and a trailer, why would I not? And go visit my friends. And how many people do I know that have cars sitting in their yards that are like, well, someday I'm going to get to it. Well, you know what? Someday just happened. I just rolled up in your yard. Let's go fix this bitch.
Yeah, some days never happen. Yeah, some days don't happen. I want
to hot rod with my friends, all the people that are followers on this channel. I'd love to show up at their house with their cars that are there and be like, all right, what do we need to do? We ready for paint? Do we need to do some freaking body work? Is there an engine in it? What do we got to do to get this going? Let's go cruise.
Hey, we could have some fun with my F-250. We could jack that thing up. I don't care what we do to it. Paid for.
Well, and that's exactly it. I just show up at different people's houses. We do some fun stuff to their trucks. We hang out, and we move along like vagrants, like off to the next place.
That sounds like fun.
Well, it's like I was talking to you when we were there. Like, the one thing that fires you up is going on adventures. It's the same thing with me. I love going on adventures. I love helping people. I love working on cars. So why not do all of them at the same time? You know
what? Speaking of helping people, I got to give away over $200,000 the last 3 days.
Yeah.
I can't talk about this. Okay. Yeah. I can't talk about all the specifics of who and where and why yet, because we haven't, the organization hasn't posted it yet. But man, talk about like doing good and having fun. That was fun. It was really fun. There was some special people I got to meet over 3 days, driving all over the Metroplex in Dallas. It was pretty cool. Plus, when you give them a big, fat, giant check with $25,000 in it, it puts a smile on their face. They can do a lot of good for a lot of people with that money.
Heck yeah, and that's I love fundraising and stuff like that. That's kind of the goal with what we're doing. With the money, whatever money we have left over after we get YouTube and everything else like that going, our dream is to give it back to people by putting it in their cars. And by that, they'll give it back to others, right. Where they can have those special moments with their kids. They can have their special moments with their grandkids. The stuff they've always dreamed of doing, we can fuel another whole generation of hot rodders, and instead of keeping the money for ourselves, put it in everybody else's car. Yeah, everybody
Right.
loves a supercharged return. Hook them up. Have some fun. You know, let some people have some smiles for change.
Right. Got to, man. It's
Go find it.
at
Go
the end of
do
the
that
day.
around
That's
as
what
well
it's all
as.
What was that, Mike?
I'm listening. I'm sorry. I can't wait for the bus to come out. I want to take a trip with that one. When you were down in Fort Worth and we visited that one day, when you were talking about it, I was like, that's going to be amazing. Yeah, I'm hyped for that one.
And for those of you that haven't seen the video, we're actually planning on putting a full fab shop on one side of the bus. And then on the other side, we're putting a full bar with like a smoker and stuff like that. And then on the roof, we're going to have it to where we can have parties, have entertainers, have celebrities, whatever wants to happen. Just a good old time every which way.
It's gonna be awesome. Gotta bring
I
it
look
everywhere,
forward
man. That one needs to follow some of the rallies too.
I look forward to the fab because I get to really play engineer to make this stuff fit. You know,
Yeah.
it's like Tetris, but with like actuators.
Ooh, I like it. See, I like having the vision, and then I like to play with the end result. The middle part, I'm not so good at that. I don't need to be touching things and building stuff.
Yeah, I like the journey, and then when the journey's over, like of the build, I'm like, meh, on to the next.
Yeah. No, I do enjoy the journey. You know, I have manicured fingernails, man. I got to be careful.
Planter painted.
I love it. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
we were looking at
Hey, you know
at
what?
colors to paint my
looking at
buddy
colors?
Vince's truck. Oh, yeah, we're going to paint Vince's truck. I've talked him into probably putting flames on it.
Oh, that'll be fun.
A big Chevy Dually flames.
Hey,
Yeah.
you know, we were going to tell you guys why we call Mike Bullwolf.
I am curious about that. I'd love to hear the story on that.
Did you say Bullwolf?
Yeah, Bullwolf. Why do we call you Bullwolf?
I'm dealing with a crybaby back here. Yeah, Bullwolf. Well, so when we started Flatguys and Lee came up with this concept, we wanted to figure out, we wanted to do our little animated characters. We wanted to do our name picking, and until this day, since I think we've been doing this since 1987, 88. Lee hasn't picked the name for his stuff yet, but I came up with. I came up with the first word. The first one I came up with was wolf, and it was wolf something I don't remember. And then we're talking about it. We're writing down names on a notepad. We're trying to figure it out. And then he says, "Why don't you just call yourself Bull?" I was like, "I don't want to. I want to be Bullwolf." So Bullwolf came to be Bullwolf. But the reason why they call me Bullwolf, the past 15 years working with Lee, we traveled a lot. We've done a lot of work. Every time we go out and travel, I'm like a bull in a china shop. If I don't cut myself, if I'm not bleeding, if I'm not going to urgent care with stitches,
That's a fact.
Yeah. So, and I was like, you know what? I like the bull. And, I put bull wolf together because as I see myself as a wolf, I have my wife, I have 8 kids, I have 7 grandkids. I'm the leader of the family. I'm the oldest of all my 5 sisters that I got. So I just played off of that one because I just like being a wolf. So when Lee said bull wolf, I was like, man, that's gonna hit hard. I like that one. And it just stuck. So for the past year now, I've been bull wolf, and I like it. I'm gonna run with it.
You got a football team with a bunch of extra players.
Oh yeah,
He does, man.
Yeah.
Hey,
So,
you know what? Mike's right though. When he talks about when we traveled a lot, we own a marketing and branding business, so we did special events for large corporate clients, and a lot of our events are at major functions like NCAA Final Four events, or maybe they're big festivals, like big music festivals, like South by Southwest in Austin or something crazy like that. So we're putting on these like massive tents and brand ambassadors, and we have all this stuff going on. And we used to have a running joke. It wasn't a successful event unless Mike was either bleeding or at urgent care. It was every event. He's bleeding. There's blood somewhere.
I've had like 12 stitches here, 9 stitches back here. Yeah, this one had 3 stitches. Yeah.
How do you hurt yourself at branding events?
I don't know.
Well,
attention.
You know, because we're building structures. We're building tents. We're building displays. We're,
I got
you.
I
There's
got
a
you.
lot of, yeah. There's a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff we do. Like our crews, when we do the events, we're also the road crew building it all. Like we're not just planning it, selling it, and showing up. Like we're doing all the road work too, all the hard stuff. And
well, you just showed the manicured hands, so that means that he's the one putting it together by himself, and Lee's instructing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My ass, yeah.
Well, you know what? Because usually I'm the one out talking, right? I'm building, you know, rapport with the client.
Oh, I get that.
And all brand ambassadors. That's what I do.
I see, and I end up doing the same thing. I want to put it together, but it's like so many people want to chat or talk or do this or that. I get so lost in the conversation, and then it's like I want to go do it, and then when I go to help, I end up messing up whatever they're doing, and then I break it or get hurt.
Yep. But you know what? That's why I love Mike. Mike gets it. Like, he knows the lane that I need to be in. I know the lane he needs to be in, and he's really good at what he does on the operations side. I'm really good at what I do on the marketing and sales side. Like, we know when we're running the business, we're at an event, we're doing a show, he just looks at me and is like, why are you standing here? You need to be over there. And he's right. I need to be over there, and he needs to be over there making shit happen. Oh, sorry. Like, that's just, we get it. That's why we're a good team when we do events.
Oh, don't worry. The custom doesn't bother me either, because I believe we should be a non-PG. You know, it's we're adults, and we say the occasional thing. I know I have a problem with the F word. Well, and I really have a problem with it. Other people do.
Oh my God, yes. We had an open conversation last week about the F-bombs that I typically drop, that I can't. If I'm gonna go where I'm gonna go with this, I need to I gotta maintain some type of control.
Well, you got to be able to be you. You know what I mean? If you're not being authentic, like Gary Vee talks about him cursing, and he probably has lost stuff from it. And he talks about, I don't care if I lost stuff from it. I have to be me. If I'm not being me and I'm being somebody else, then we're not even doing business together, because that's some other dude.
Yep. That, you know what? I don't want to, I'm going to be very careful, because I don't want to go down a certain political path. I don't even want to go there. But I'm so passionate about my beliefs on certain things that earlier this year, you said you noticed when I was going down this path of not being me and kind of being a little depressed and whatever. I let politics get the best of me this year. I really did. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, what the hell grabbed hold of me? That's not who I am. I have beliefs, but it was so polarizing what's going on right now that I let social media, going back to your social media question, I let social media dictate and control my feelings and my anger and my passion. I'm like, oh my God. And I don't know if you noticed, but I shut down. I was off everything for almost 2 months. And I said, peace out. I'll see you at Thanksgiving. And the week of Thanksgiving is when I started diving back in.
Oh, I know. That's why I had to contact you on the phone. I was like, where the hell did he go? You had me worried.
Man. No, it was good. It was a cleansing. I had to step away. I had to focus on my family, focus on the business, focus on the studio, because the studio keeps dragging on. Is it ever going to get finished? So I just had to shut down, turn everything off, and just dive in and get focused. So I did. And Mike and I knocked it out, man. We've been busting our butts for the last 3 weeks making this happen. And I
got to bust your balls a little bit before I actually go off of what you just said. Because we watched it. We were picking out videos to put online. We watched a video from a year and 3 months ago. It's like, the garage is almost done. Almost there.
Yeah.
But to piggyback off what you were saying, when you're talking about like people, I believe that ignorance is bliss. You know what I mean? So many people think about the politics and stuff like that, where you used to have your friend back in the day, to where you'd go ask Rick, be like, "Hey Rick, what do you think?" He goes, "I'm fucking stupid. I don't care.
Yeah.
Why are you asking me that?" I go right back to that. Like people are like, "Oh, who are you voting for, Trump or Biden?" I'm like, "Aren't they both just old stupid people? I don't care.
Right.
It doesn't affect my day to day. If the president bothers you on a day to day or how politics are going, fuck it. Like it's pointless. Like that shouldn't bother you one bit. You should be able to go out and just enjoy your day and be like, bunch of idiots."
Yeah. I think I'm going to restrain myself at this point and not go any deeper into it, because I'm going to go down a really deep path of what I think is happening right now with media and technology and the sheep and the herders and what's happening. But
well, we can actually we can touch that a little bit, because I truly believe that that socials are being used for bad, and that's why we got to take them over and start putting good out there to clear out the bad. Because if that's our only fight against it, is to sit there and not tell the truth, not to try and direct them away from what's being said, is just to get them to go, who cares? Listen to something better.
Okay, but here's where it touches my soul. Like for real. Like right here. I have a 12-year-old son that's got to now grow up in the world that we're creating right now. And I know this is the same story that our father told and our grandfather and our great-grandfather, right? This is the story of my son, right? There's something different now. Like at the push of a button, you can control a message that goes to tens and millions, hundreds of millions of people in a moment. In the blink of an eye, someone has the control to influence hundreds of millions of people across the world all at once. And it scares the shit out of me that my son is about to grow up in this society and he's going to believe what he sees. And if we really, I don't know either way, but if we really are being manipulated through, what they claim of Google and they claim with Facebook and everything that's happening, if that's really true, then man, they're sheep herding. They're moving the sheep over here and moving the sheep over here. It's what's happening. It scares me to death.
Now let's use the conversation you just said. You were talking about your grandfather and your father. We go back to your father's time. He thought the same thing about magazines and music and all the other stuff, like when rock and roll was the devil in the 80s. There's a lot of things that are progress, and there's always going to be evil people using those things to try and do other stuff.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? True. So to me, it's like if you spend too much time worrying about that kind of stuff, that's where you teach your son and go, hey, buddy, there's a lot of idiots out there. I need you to take on and put this filter on and go, all right, we got to figure out if you're stupid or smart, and just bop them on the nose. It sounds silly, but like your son is going to be smarter than you or I or anybody else because he's consumed so much of it. He's been able to make his decision because he's seen so much and known, with the lessons he's learned, what's going to be right and wrong by what you teach him and by what he's been seeing on there,
Yeah. The best part of my day, every day, Monday through Friday, is I get to bring my son to school. It's just him and I in the truck for about 15 minutes. And like we have this like little 15-minute window that there's no other family members around. It's just him and I just talking. And I'll give him my advice for the day, and he'll give me his feedback for the day and for the yesterday. Bear with me 1 second. There we go. I was losing power. But that's like my favorite part of every day is that 15 minutes with him where we can interact. It's beautiful.
Now, I got a deep question for you. Have you ever told him that's your favorite time?
No, but I think I will. That'll be Monday's talk. Thanks for the heads up on that.
Just a thought, because I've been doing a lot of thinking about talking to my friends and stuff like that and letting them know how important they are to me and stuff like that. And a lot of them, like, it almost blows them away because they don't even realize it, because we realize how important they are to us, but we never actually tell them.
Yep. So how are you finding positive things in your life right now when I can see that some days you're struggling? Like, where are you finding right here and up here to get you going through your day? Like, where are you reaching?
Honestly, a lot of times it's friends, and it's because I'm always honest with my feelings out there. With having Asperger's and a lot of stuff like that, I don't know how to really deal with feelings. So I find Facebook easier to put it out there and hear what people say, because I know I'm not the smartest person in the room, and maybe I'm thinking stupid, and just to hear other people's out on like what's going on. And
Yeah.
I always look at the positive, because I could be dead. I could not be here. And that's why I always push so hard, is I've lost so many friends and to suicide and everything else like that, that every day has to be awesome, because it could be my last tomorrow. So if I'm not pushing as hard as I can today, then I can't expect better tomorrow if I'm not working today. So
have you
I love it.
Have you reached out and joined any like Asperger's groups on Facebook? Have you found any and reached out and just kind of shared common thoughts? And
Nah, most of the time we all seem to kind of annoy each other. I've got a few friends, high IQ Asperger's, and we kind of, like, we'll talk, but it's like we all kind of deal with it on our own, in our own way. Because some people have the higher intelligence, some people are not, and then some people that don't want to talk about it, or like I approach things in a crazy way where I treat it like I have a bunch of little dudes in my head, and I have to put them all away in the rooms, so I can only have one out. So I'm not like, ah!
Yeah. Looking back, I don't know much, if anything, about Asperger's, except one of my former business partners, I believe, may have had it. And he either knew he had it and didn't disclose it to me as his business partner, or maybe didn't know. But Mike knows who I'm talking about. But I wish I knew what I think I know now about him then, because I think Mike and I, being closer to him than anybody else, might have been able to help him. And I don't know how to use the right words here, but I think we could have gone down a different path instead of the path we ended up on, which ended up very poorly and disruptive and destructive in all of the three of us in our friendships. Matter of fact, he's the one that introduced Mike and I. He's the one that hired Mike to come work for my company when I first started it. Like, he's the reason why Mike and I are friends, and I'm even involved with Mike in the business. And I think he may have been suffering from that. And looking back at all the episodes and the moments and the encounters and just a series of things that happened over 10 years, it's like there's a pattern there that is applicable to what I did read about. And man, I wish I had known sooner, because maybe it could have gone down a different path,
Well, see, a lot of that I look at as like regrets and stuff like that, is where you learned a lot of lessons from it, and maybe you can revisit that relationship later on and be like, hey, I didn't realize this at the time, but hey, I want to say I'm sorry, or whatever else, and that's where I believe we've all learned lessons in our life, and people come in and leave our lives, and like, I believe people are in your lives for a certain reason. Like, it's like God put them there for something, you know what I mean? Like, you're supposed to do something together, or I just don't believe in coincidences sometimes when you meet certain people.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there 100%. How do you feel about that, Mike?
Well, the whole situation?
Or meeting people. Like, we're talking about coincidences, like meeting the people and always feeling like people are supposed to be involved.
Correct, yeah. I mean, we meet people every day. We meet new people, we meet old people that we've known in the past. I mean, it's just what it is. But going back to Lee's conversation with the old business partner, that fool didn't want no help. He had his own mind, and that's the way he was going to be. So he can kiss my ass. I hope he sees this.
Tell us how you really feel, Mike.
Lee's all tactful. Mike's like, fuck him.
No, yeah, no. And you know what? From Mike's perspective, I'm with him 100%. I can't argue with Mike in that situation.
But let's get back on some more positive stuff. So,
Yes.
I know you guys are getting stuff going down there. What is your next plans in the next few weeks? I know you got something in the works because you always have something.
I do always have something up my sleeve. I got shit I can't talk about, man. You can't go there, man. So, all right, here's what's happening right now. We are, we're actually writing right now. We're writing down our thoughts and ideas because we have all these like visions and things that we've been talking about, but never put it on paper. So we've been putting stuff on paper. We've had actually 1 or 2 meetings in the last 2 weeks where we're like, okay, let's jot this down. Let's make a format. Let's follow this plan. And I would really like to see.
We have off-site meetings. Off-site meetings. We don't.
Off-site, out of this building.
Yeah, out of the
so
building.
You're shaking your head. No, we are. It's happening.
I feel like this is going back to we're working on the room, and we're working on something.
Hey, we're here live with you right now, dude.
I know.
We're holding each other accountable now. We're holding each other accountable because we're never going to push off if we continue doing what we're doing. So we have to put notes down. We have to make a game plan. If we don't make that game plan, we're going to come back into looking at this video, 12/11/2021 and be like, shit. And I don't want to be there. I don't want to be way past that. Yeah. We're going to. I think DJ, once that platform went down into that studio, we built that platform 2.5 weeks ago. That changed it, and that put that positive motivation back in both of us. Because we've all been down the dumps the past 7 months. We're like, man, what are we going to do? I mean, most of our business went, down the drain. And so, we've had our little meetings here and there. We had our procrastination.
I'm just picking on you guys.
No, that's true. And then now we come back and telling you that the motivation is here, and with you talking to you in Fort Worth and we're pushing them, it's coming really soon. Like I said before earlier, it's around the corner.
Well, I just want to see you guys back on fire because I miss it. You know what I mean? It sounds bad, but it's like COVID hit and like my Lee anchor, I was getting my Lee feed. It's like it's like my drug. I got my uplifting thing, I got my Gary V, and I got my Lee, and then all of a sudden, poof. And then COVID happened. I'm like, so our marketing company is going and doing, going around the toilet. Lead disappears. The world's, it just all went nuts.
Well, you know what? I'm just gonna lay it out there. Because if I can help someone with what I'm about to say and give them strength and courage, then I'm helping someone, and that's what my goal is now. I had a very successful multi-million-dollar business fail. In April last year, I made the decision with my family and Mike being my key employee that it's over. I can't dig us out of this one. And I went through the process of having to shut that business down. And it was a corporation. We had a 9,000 square foot production facility. We had printing machines. We had employees. We had inventory, warehouse. When you have a business that's complex like that, you don't just wake up tomorrow and turn it off. It doesn't work that way. You've got responsibilities. You've got employees with families that you take ownership in, and they're an extension of you, and all my employees have always been an extension of my family. They've never not been. That's actually, I've been told that's one of my biggest weaknesses is I have a hard time separating emotionally from the people that work for me, because I invest so much of myself in them, and
I don't think that's a bad thing.
Another story, another day.
That's not a bad thing. I do the same thing. It's realizing that the people are the most important thing in your company. That's an awesome thing, Lee. Your people are the most important thing. You can have a crappy product and have great people and be able to fix it. If you got a crappy product and crappy people, you're never going to be able to do anything. So loving on your
Yeah.
people, brother, that's where you got to be. You got to love on them so much that that's all you got.
Yeah, well, thank you for saying that. And I still believe that. I'm still going to be that way. I'm not going to change that part of me. But for the last year, I've had to deal with shutting that out and all of, the legal and financial and everything related to closing a business that's that complicated. Again, you can't just do that overnight. Simultaneously, trying to start a new company because I have to have revenue for the family. So that's actually where my life was for the last year. And the first 6 months of this year, I was dealing with, I'm just going to say it, I was dealing with a corporate bankruptcy that I had to face head on, and I had to devote all my time and effort into that to bring it to the end and to get a good result. And in July, I was able to finalize it. I'm not proud of it. Those things exist for good people that tried to do the right thing, that it just fell apart. And but going back to the beginning of our conversation, you had asked me, like, I think you said something about how do you find motivation when you fall down or fail or whatever. And I said it. Before I hit the ground, I was already running again. Like, I don't let myself fall down and like, oh, what do I do now? I got to do it again. You can't go there, man. You have to recognize that it's failing, fall apart, make a plan, implement the plan, tell your people what you're going to do, get them involved, move forward, get the other thing going, launch again. There's things like that exist to help you stand back up and run. And we did well. We weren't expecting COVID this year. COVID was just a big slap in the face to something we had already rebuilt, and we're running again. We were running hard with the new company. And, but fortunately, we're in a good place, man. COVID is, COVID, if you don't, oh God, this is going to come off so wrong. COVID has been a reset, mental reset. It's allowed me to get really quiet because I was consumed by client activity every minute of every day, and it wasn't allowing us to proceed and move forward on the other things we were trying to build. And COVID got us real quiet. Oh, wow, now we have this time. Let's refocus. And that's when we started knocking things out. The studio got built. Camera equipment, lighting, audio's coming in the next week. Like, everything's starting to come in. The next time we do a Zoom together, you're going to see different angles of the room. You're going to get to see the rest of the room kind of populate. And it's going to be pretty cool. And then, all that stuff's happening now. So here I go. I'm rambling now. I'm going to be quiet. But
oh no, it's a good thing. No, but you're right. If you know what I did, I went and took that. It was supposed to be a 2-week motorcycle trip, and just ended up being on the road for like 3 months and just reevaluating everything, remaking the plan. And like, I had that same quiet moment. It was like everything like just kind of came to a head all at one moment. You know what I mean? Like, we closed the marketing side and started pursuing the other direction, and it was scary. It still is scary on a daily basis. Like, we have no idea. We know what direction we're going. We know around about how to get there, but a lot of it's new. You know what I mean? Like, you're always busting new territory. You're always busting. Everybody thinks we're insane for. There's probably a lot of people that think we're insane for doing this podcast. You know what I mean? But to me, I don't care. And that's well, and that's where I think, like, you put it on all 3 platforms. You let people hear your perspective, and it's not that I think I have an important perspective. I believe that other people they need more information. And if I can get them information from the right people that I know are good guys in the industry, that are good peeps, it's pretty killer. You know what I mean? And it helps them filter out, like, all the other crap to be what's real. You know what I mean? And that's why I like, bring you guys on and, like, stuff like that, because it's just, like the longer we go on, the more real you get. You have a little guard up in the beginning, but you're like, yeah, this was hard.
Yeah.
What we're doing is not easy. Being an entrepreneur, it's some of the loneliest, hardest stuff you're ever going to do in your life. And you feel like you're on your own so much of the time, but you have so many people backing you, but they can't back you because they don't exactly understand what you're doing.
Right. So I went to Vid Summit and Video Marketing World 2 and 3 years ago when I started deciding to go down this path. So I like to immerse myself in that world and kind of look at it from a distance first and watch, observe, soak it in, and then I'll start working my way in until I get comfortable, and then I embrace it 100%. And I think that pays off in so many ways. Today, for example, I'm freaking out this morning because I can't get any of these cameras to work for this Zoom. And I've got 6, 7, 8 cameras here. None of them are working. I reached out to one of my little small Texas video creators group, and I had 4 people respond. And I wanted to shout out to Michael, Taylor, and another brother that I just met, Mark, and also Scott Simpson. All 4 of those guys had no skin in the game today to help me. No reason other than just friendship and wanting to help a brother out. And it was because of like networking in this small community that we have in this creator community. And then Taylor actually, I know this was last minute and he had some flexibility. That bro, he came back like 2 hours. He was at my house. He spent the last 4 hours trying to get all the cameras going. We got your boy Cody on the phone. Like, what's going on? Why aren't these cameras working? And I think going back to your social media question earlier, that's an example of where social media worked like it's supposed to work. I've made new friendships and new crowds and new groups in a community that I want to be a part of. And I didn't realize how receptive that group was going to be and are and how giving they are. Like, none of them had to do what they did today. They all offered to help. It was amazing.
Well, that's where I find where a lot of the older generation doesn't realize how beneficial it can actually be. And I feel like at the beginning of Facebook, I was one of those people that was against going on to social because I was in the magazines. I learned how to hack and how to get myself into magazines. So I'm like, social media, what's that? Look at this cover, that I'm on. I felt like I was on top of the world. And then, like, what was it, November last year? All magazines went away. So then, like, I'm in scramble mode. Like, I got nothing. So to me, I look.
For one of my go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
For one of my corporate jobs in my history, I used to spend $500,000 to $1 million a year in yellow page book advertising. I used to buy full color page ads in every major market. Like, what? The kids say they don't even know what a yellow page book is.
Well, see, I look at it now like hacking. You know what I mean? Like in the magazine world, to get a car in a mag, it had to look the certain way. You had to have the certain setting. You had to use the certain colors. You had to do all these certain things to make it just right. And you had to know the right people in your network to get it. And now that there is not the magazines and it's the Instagrams and the Facebooks deciding, now everyone's the decider. So you have to learn how to hack that way. So it's kind of fun learning what people like and what they don't like. You know what I mean? It's like, and I'm not pandering to the majority because I'll always be me. But it's really fun seeing what direction people think cars should go.
Right.
And a lot of people take criticism being a car builder, I get the worst criticism in the world, like, because I build weird cars. Like, look at Empathy. Like, my favorite slam of that one, I got to find who said it and actually send them a gift someday because I've said it 1,000 times. But they've called it a floppy clown shoe. And I was like, that is the most descriptive, colorful, thoughtful comment that somebody could ever make. And I think they meant it as a slam. But I've
Yeah.
always taken it as a compliment. I'm like, you really took time to think that one out.
Yeah.
And that's what it represented to you. And I was like, yes, like I'm okay with that. I take the good and the bad, and I just don't care. Like I like to see what you like and what you don't, but I love to see how
Yep.
creative you get with it.
You know, I love that you said that. And by the way, somewhere in my storage unit, I have some floppy clown shoes. If you find that guy, I'll send you those floppy clown shoes that you could sign and send him.
Oh, that'd be funny. I know it was on the Hoonigan post that they posted, because they were like, what do you think of this weird one? What's that made of?
Stop.
You know, I've struggled a lot this year about trying to find peace and happiness and project positive energy because I did let politics consume me. And you just reminded me of a moment, I think it was January or February last year. We had just created the pig mascot, which is supposed to be me. It's on the front of Mike's shirt there. And it's a hog, basically. And we had a naming contest on social media. And this one guy, I won't say his last name, but his first name is David. We had this naming contest, and David was like so negative. And oh, this contest is stupid. I don't even remember what it was. And I think I replied with, man, I'm sorry that you feel that way. I'm sorry you're having a bad day. If there's anything I could do to make you feel better, let me know. This is just meant for fun. If you don't want to come here and have fun, then, you should probably go somewhere else. But if you're having a bad day, man, hit me up. Let's talk about it. And we took this person that was like, he was having a bad day. He had lost his son the year before and had lost his job the week before. He was having a bad day. Life was not good. He was not in a good place. And, I won't get into details, anything further, but he and I communicate a lot privately in Messenger. And we became like Facebook friends through Flatguys. I've never met him in person. I'm sure he's a great guy. He actually invited me to his wedding. That didn't work out because of timing, but I mean, that was pretty amazing. Like we turned this like negative situation into a positive just by being nice. Just people need to be nice. Just start being nice to each other. Oh my God, let's go back to that, please.
And I couldn't agree anymore. You know what I mean? Just being able to love on each other. And, I find so much value in that, being able to love on somebody and not expecting anything in return. Just be like, yo, I'm just here to help. My goal out of this whole thing is honestly to make more friends, to have more connections, more people I can hang out with, and to, build cool stuff with more cool people and hang out with more cool people. Because if we all love hanging out with fun people, we all love going on adventures and stuff like that. And like, not to harp back on the same subject we were a little bit earlier, but people are so important. And people think that they're not of any value, and that's why suicide, I believe, gets so high. Like I got to that point when Daniel died, but it's to think people have the value that they can't even value what they are. Value themselves as a human being, as a person. To me, that's just crushing.
Right,
you know what I mean? Because I don't believe their bosses are lifting them up and telling them, hey, you did a great job, or hey, that was amazing.
Right.
And that's where I try and lift people up and help them grow, because I don't know, they could be the next president, they could be the next Ed Big Daddy Roth, the next Steve Jobs. I don't know.
Or they could just be the next them, just never known to anybody else, but you recognize them, And but I just want to say shout out to David. David, I know you've had a hard year, buddy. Keep your head up. Things will get better. I promise you, bro. Love you, man. So David's a good guy. I think he's just had some bad cards dealt to him, and got to keep your head up, bro. You'll be good. Promise you.
A lot of times I always feel like people that have a harder life, it's like God's training them for something more amazing. Because it always seems like those people end up with like something just badass happen in their life, and you're like, whoa, like, the full right turn.
Yeah.
And we may not even get to see the impact they make on so many people. That's kind of the reason I'm using the car to talk about cancer with Doc. Is cancer's kind of become such a light subject with people, with COVID and everything else going on, and like I don't understand how we can come up with a cure for that, and the world can rejoice for that, but we can't do it for cancer.
BJ, it's not trendy. That's the problem. If it's not trending, nobody cares, and that's the problem. Like you gotta. I'm gonna get emotional and passionate right now, and I don't want to go there, but
Go ahead.
It's how the society works. It's ridiculous. It's dumb. It's dumb. It's just stupid.
And that's why we got to become the cool kids, and we got to start talking about the cancer and start putting that stuff out in front of people and putting a positive message to it and telling stories about it and telling the ones that made it and the ones that have lasted, and maybe we can make a little bit of a difference.
Yeah. Yep. I agree, man. We can make life better again. It's going to be fine. You said it earlier. When we were growing up, they didn't like our music. I don't like I don't like my son gaming 6-7 hours a day. I mean, that's an exaggeration, but not too much.
I just got proven the other day when I was goofing off with the Minecraft that Minecraft is CAD. It literally is CAD with like a couple digits dropped off the end. And that blew my mind that kids are being able to figure out, this plot point to this plot point, and like they're learning XYZs in a three-dimensional world, and it's all square, and they don't care about the graphics. They care about the math of it all.
Oh, I guarantee you the military is paying attention to esports. Promise you that. I wouldn't be surprised if the military is funding esport arenas.
Oh, yeah.
Those are the next fighters. They're already the fighters right now with drones and everything else. Like the esports kids are going to be our future military because they're going to fight from their desk. They're not going to leave their house, their bedroom. They're going to be fighting from right there. It's crazy. It's already happening.
Well, they've already got drones and everything else where they can fly and play around that direction.
Mm-hmm.
Something I did with Tony was when we were talking about stuff is I like to go through car history. So what was your first car and what was your worst car for both of you guys?
Oh, Mike, you go first, buddy.
Well, my first car that I fell in love with was my mom's 1977 Monte Carlo. Remember the ones with the flare back? It was like a dark forest green. It only 2 doors, and that car was awesome. I remember going one night to the movies, and we had no defrost, and it's probably 30 degrees outside, and that was the very first car that I even learned to drive in that car. That was my very first car. The very first car that I purchased was a Pontiac 9000, Pontiac 6000. Remember Pontiac something 6000, I think it was.
I think it was 6000.
Yeah, that thing was a monster. But you know what? It got us around. It got us around to wherever we needed to go. And that was the first 2 vehicles. Well, I love the Monte Carlo, but that Pontiac, I don't know how it lasted, but it lasted. And then I also had a 1979 Gran Torino, 4-door Gran Torino. It had no windows, it had no front brakes, but it had the best system in East Dallas. We had an Alpine still, we had tweeters, we had like 15s in the back of the trunk, we had 10s in the back seat. We got around on that vehicle everywhere, me and a friend of mine. They have some nice cars, man. And you know what? Those cars back in the day were just, all steel, no aluminum, so they last forever. And we ran those things to the ground. Yeah. That's the first 3 major cars that, I only remember the Pontiac because that was the first one I purchased. But the other 2, we kind of got the Gran Torino off of a friend, and we just ran it to the ground, but it was a nice car. Nice car.
How about you, Lee?
So my first car was a 1979 Buick Regal. That was a fun car. But
You guys are basically rolling around in the same car almost. Close.
I know, right? It was the same car. As a matter of fact, I have a story. You want to hear the story?
Sure.
So, 2 stories. Quick one. The first one's quick. 1979 Buick Regal. Got it on my 16th birthday, and a week later, the timing chain broke. And I was a broke ass, you know what? Couldn't afford to fix it, and my dad at the time couldn't either. Single father, right? Had my car a week, and I couldn't drive it for 3 months because I didn't have the money to freaking fix it. I was so mad. I was so angry. But that was a fun car. I eventually moved to New Orleans from Alabama where I bought the car. And, hold on, baby. And so in New Orleans, when I was in high school, my senior year, the drinking age in Louisiana was still 18. And so my senior year of high school, it was actually legal to drink. You could go to a bar on the weekends and do whatever. And so you could get into clubs or whatever. So we went to this club on a Friday night, left the club, went to this little hangout spot out on the levee. We were there like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, left, and then the thing to do was to go eat somewhere afterwards. So this particular night, we went to the drive-thru at Taco Bell, and we're sitting in the drive-thru at Taco Bell, and this car behind us, and I got three buddies with me. My buddy CJ, who was definitely popping steroids. There's no way he got as big as he got without steroids at that time. And then 2 other buddies in the back, my boy Troy, and then some other dudes. We had just left that little hangout spot. We're in the Taco Bell drive-thru, and this car behind us kept we had placed our order and moved up. This car behind us had 4 or 5 dudes in it, and they pulled up behind us. But the weirdest thing happened. They would put it in drive and just floor it, spin out the tires, and would race up to the back of my car, slam the brakes, peel back, and then they did it twice. They came up again and peeled back. I'm like, what the hell is going on? So I throw my car in park in the drive-thru at Taco Bell. We get out. It's a 2-door car. Everybody jumps out. CJ actually is in the back right. CJ gets out. CJ's a big boy. CJ Bourgeois. If you're listening, CJ, what's up, buddy? So CJ gets out, I'm the big guy. And we're walking back towards his car because I guess we're going to fight or whatever because we're stupid 18-year-olds. And that car whips out, floors it. CJ punches the car. The side mirror burst, like he broke the mirror. They hit the side door of my car, the passenger door, and bent it forward. So my door is now by my front tire, still attached, but dangling. And those guys take off. The police show up, and we're still in the drive-thru. None of us had been drinking, fortunately, that night. We were just out having a good time. And so the police are there. We do the report. We managed to, CJ pushed the door, but the door won't shut flush. The door is hanging kind of low, but it's still attached. We can't break it off. So the whole way home, CJ's holding the door while we're driving home. And he's falling asleep, and the door would swing open, and I'd have to hit him. And he'd grab the door and pull it, and he's falling asleep. The door would swing open. Oh, my God, it was crazy. But you were talking about Monte Carlo. The week after, Troy's dad knew where a junkyard was that had my car was cream, had a Monte Carlo that was dark brown, and we went and bought that dark brown Monte Carlo door to replace my cream door. So I had a dark brown Monte Carlo door on my cream-colored Buick Regal. So that was a crazy night, man. Long story, sorry.
Oh, you're golden. I love hearing car stories, and I know everybody else does too, so it's a good thing.
But my favorite car was my Chevy Avalanche, my 2002 Chevy Avalanche. I know Mike liked that car too. We had 300,000 miles on it when I sold it, and Mike was pissed that I sold it because I sold it to one of his buddies.
Yeah.
Said, why didn't you sell it to me?
Yeah, I don't even talk to my buddy no more.
They still have the truck too. They
Yeah,
probably
they
got
still have the
400,000 miles on it.
Yeah. I think they're close to
they'll run
400,000
for
right now.
forever.
Yeah.
But they look pretty ugly. I just can't stand that back window and the back. It's like
Oh,
they
BJ, you don't
designed
even
like
know,
this.
dude. Listen, I got another story. So we're in the Chevy Avalanche, right? the back seat, right? The back seat folds down forward, but it opens to the bed of the trunk. So basically, you have this flatbed into the back of your trunk, but it's all concealed, right, with the lid on the back of the trunk. So we went on a trip to New Orleans for Mardi Gras. My wife and I and a couple of like 4 friends, all packed into my Avalanche. But we blew up a queen-size mattress that fit perfect in that flat part when you lay the seat down. So there's 2 of us in the front seat, and there's 4 laying in the mattress in the back, going to New Orleans for Mardi Gras. And then on the trip back, we're coming back. We're on I-20, just past Tyler, and there's traffic. Like, that's back when there was, like, a lot of construction, like 10 years ago in Texas. Backed up. And I'm so frustrated. I'm tired. We've been partying at Mardi Gras for 2 weeks, or for a week. And so I jumped the grass to get up on the service road. And as soon as I get up on the service road, the light, State Patrol was waiting for people to do that. He pulls us over. He walks up to the driver's side where I'm at. I roll down the window. Yeah, I roll down the window like that. And he goes, you know, there's cocaine in the gas tank. And I said, what? Excuse me? And our friends that were in the back were new friends. Like, we'd only known them like a month or two. They'd moved into the apartment next to us in Dallas. He goes, oh, no, because he could see all of our faces went ghost white, because I thought my friends in the back were doing coke, and they thought we were doing coke, but come to find out, the state trooper meant he had just pulled over an Avalanche earlier that day where they hid cocaine in the gas compartment container. He was explaining that he'd had an experience that day, and we all thought we were about to go to jail for cocaine in the gas tank. It was so crazy. You had to be there. It was one of those moments.
Yeah.
Well, I want to be able to direct people where we want to get them to go. What do you got to say to everybody, and where do you want them to go to? And then I have homework for both of you guys, because I'm creating something pretty cool.
Ooh, cool. So, for our merch business that actually pays our bills, we have a company called ilovemerch.com, and love is L-U-V. So I-L-U-V merch.com. On YouTube, we're Flatguys. We'll start putting videos up in the next 2 weeks. And on Facebook, we're at Flatguys Show, and Instagram, we're Flatguys. Thanks for letting us do that, BJ. We appreciate you, buddy.
Oh, it's more than that. And any of the video from all of this, like, we're going to cut it into little clips. You're welcome to the same footage, because we're going to double brand it. So you'll be able to steal it for you, and it'll have us and you on it. So that way we'll be able, and like, I know on the live feed, your guys' brand's already up there. I'm pretty sure Cody's going to put all your links and everything in there. So that way we can, I want to make sure we're always sharing this, and we're always like, I look forward to going on missions with you guys and making trips and plans. And that's why I wanted to have you guys on first, because I want to get people used to seeing you guys. So when they see you when we're on the road, they're like, oh, you know, I know Lee and Mike, you know, and just
awesome.
Already make you guys part of the family. Part of the homework I had Tony do, he already sent me his 5. From both of you guys, I want your 5 most, the songs that inspire you, the songs that make you, when you're going down the highway, hit that throttle pedal and get going, or when you're down and out, that song that just grabs a hold of your soul and pushes you.
Ooh, the one that makes me speed, or the one that makes me chill?
I want your top 5 most motivational songs you got.
Okay.
I want to create a playlist that is full of nothing but motivational songs, and I want to make sure that each guest gets to put 5 in there. So right now we got 5, and if any of yours match up with his, we'll have to fix a few of them. But I want to make sure everybody gets their 5 in there. That way we build this monster playlist that people can play, and it's all music that'll help drive them, to push them, with all the successful people that I know, you know?
I like it. All Mike's songs are going to be Sesame Street and Electric Company songs right now.
Oh, I figured him to throw a little Latin influence that way, you know? He's got some good tunes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I got some good stuff. Yeah.
So, and that's the fun part about creating this playlist is we can look back in a few years, and that's why I was saying we have your 5, and we'll label them as your 5, and then we can look in a few years and go, what are your 5 right now, Lee? Or even next year. You know, and we can edit and adapt and just like, you know, like what's pushing you at the moment, you know? And create these playlists for other people to listen to, because I believe a lot of people are bringing in crap into their ears. They whatever you input into here is what you put out.
Right.
You know, and if you're filling yourself full of like uplifting, good message stuff, you know, it helps you to be able to put out good uplifting messages and stuff.
Oh, you got to feed in what you need to move forward. You have to. You don't have a choice. Don't have a choice. Got to put it in there, man. Push it. Motivate yourself.
Oh, definitely. Have you guys got any last messages before we end out?
Go ahead, Mike.
I'm good. You know me, I'm short and sweet. Short and sweet. That's all. Yeah, I'm the hype guy. You see that? I'm good.
Hey, all I got to say is, you know, life's going to throw curveballs at you, bro. You can't. You just got to swing at them. And you're going to miss them, you're going to hit them, but you can't stop swinging. You know, all this COVID stuff is stupidity, right? Yeah, it's a real thing. We're going to battle it. We're going to overcome it, just like we always do as a country, as a world, as a people. But you can't like wake up in the morning and just lay there in bed and not do something productive. If you haven't taken advantage of this downtime and corrected things in your life, like have you gone through and negotiated with your electric company and negotiated a better deal on your electric rate? Mike's a pro at that. Have you called AT&T or DirecTV and negotiated with them to get a better rate? Do you really need Netflix and Apple TV and all Amazon Prime TV? No, you don't. You could probably live with one of them. Get really small financially. Get control of your money so you have less stress, and that will allow you to correct other things. Refinance your house. Do things that you didn't do, you were lazy with before, and you kept making excuses because you had to go to work, and you had to do this. You got to bring the kids to the daycare. Stop making those excuses and use this downtime during COVID to fix things in your life that you weren't fixing. Clean the attic out. Clean your closet out. Donate clothes. Clean your dresser drawers. Get rid of the crap that you don't need in your house. Oh, my God, how much free time have you had in the last 9 months that you just wasted? Hopefully you didn't. Hopefully you're doing something with it. But do things that are positive, that are going to improve your life financially, physically, emotionally, everything. Just fix it. Move it. Get up. Jump out of bed in the morning. Go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom. Jump out of bed. Don't lay there. Don't hit the sleep in button. Get a shower. Get dressed. And go do something productive that improves your family's life. That's what you should be doing right now. Enjoy life. Take advantage of what it is. Spend as much time as you can with your family right now. Just make it happen.
That's epic advice, brother.
You got to do it, man.
That's the same thing, man. I've been, you know, I wake up every day and I push every day as hard, you know, it's just fun. Like to me, it's like, that's what kind of pushes me in the morning. It's like, that's what you were asking me before. What keeps me driven is the fact that I get to do it.
Yeah.
You know? And that's, if you're not happy in your life, I totally believe people should rethink what their job is, what they're doing, not pursue money, pursue happiness. And it's
absolutely
just about being happy for me. But I can't
the
thank
money
you guys.
will follow.
Oh, yeah. Definitely, it does follow.
That's to see which one you open. Sorry.
What's that?
Sorry.
Oh, you're good.
Sorry. No, while we're here talking, my grandson is over there opening Christmas presents, and he keeps bringing me Christmas presents, and I don't know who they belong to. That's why I'm over here laughing. While you're giving this good, inspirational last message, Lee, I'm over here laughing my ass off because he keeps bringing me stuff, and I'm on this live feed with you guys, and I can't say stop, you know. It's
Well, that's the best part about being a grandpa, though, is you get to have fun and just watch it happen and be like, well, it happened when I was on the live. It's not my fault.
yeah, it's not my fault.
But I can't thank you guys enough for coming on, man, and we'll definitely have you on again in the future, and I definitely am looking forward to what you're going to be dropping in on your show. Lee, you know how much I love watching all your content and everything like that, man. You know,
Thanks, man.
No,
you guys
Same here,
have
bro.
been killing it forever.
Yeah, thanks, man.
So
Thanks,
definitely
dude.
looking forward to
Appreciate
seeing
you.
more of the hype man getting all up in there.
Oh, Bullwolf's coming. That's around the corner again. Bullwolf is. I'm on a mission.
I want
Well,
to see you guys like the night you guys had too many drinks, did the live stream and deleted it because it was too funny.
Oh, I think I found some of the footage from the very first night we ever recorded anything. We have a friend that's a comedian, and he came up from Austin to do a show with us. And we started recording at 3 o'clock. We were only going to do like an hour, 2-hour show. We had all the cameras set up. I had an IT guy running everything. It was 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. This is 12 hours later. 12 hours later, BJ. And we're still going. The cameras quit working at 6 p.m. We didn't care. We didn't know. We were still going. So we don't even know. We don't even know what we talked about for like 8 hours. We just kept going. It was so much fun.
Now, Michael, the comedian did have Instagram up at one point live.
Oh, you did.
So
Yeah,
if we
you
reach
did.
out, we should be able to touch base with just whatever he had going on.
Yeah, we went live, and it was off. It was, I don't know if we want to see it. I don't think we should see it.
It'd be
It may
even
not be
funny
good.
just to see little clips of it because it's hilarious. Like I laughed my ass off that night because I was sitting there. I was like, "What are you guys doing?" And then you guys were telling some of the funniest jokes. Because you started like middle of the day, and then it just went on. And then like I don't remember laughing my butt off. Like I was like, I don't know what they're doing, but that sounds fun.
Our wives hate it when they know we say we have a day we're gonna film, and then I get the whiskey out. And they go, oh, it's over. We're not gonna see them till tomorrow.
Well, thank you guys again for coming on, and just I hope you guys have a great day and stay safe, man.
Thank you. You
All
too.
right, you too, buddy.
Both you guys.
All right, thanks, man.
All right.
Love y'all.
Thanks, man.
Peace.
Love you guys.
Love you too, man. Thanks.
Later.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Please like and subscribe. Head on over to Lee's page and hit them up and like and subscribe on their stuff. And if you haven't hit us up, please help us. Love you.